Epic Games is still lazy. Hey, howdy, how's it going? My name is Bennjipie. Before we fully dive in, I want to say that Fortnite recently has been improving a lot, and with Season 2 of Chapter 6 and everything else we have currently, I will say that we are in a much better state than when I last made this type of video. Laziness does not mean they are doing nothing. Sometimes it means they're doing a lot and it's not quality at all, or they're just throwing ideas out there and seeing what sticks and not giving them any amount of quality. To recap my original video on this, Battle Passes have slightly changed and the UI has been simplified a bit, which I do appreciate. Battle Stars are completely gone. They still do put the base design for things in the bonus tiers, but I did say that that was a little bit of a nitpick because you will most likely finish your Battle Pass completely anyways. I also talked about OG Fortnite. I believe that with the new OG game mode, we have a lot of what I said before. They are more than capable of doing a one-to-one recreation, but choose not to unless they are losing players or the player's attention or anything like that. We have the old weapon models. Even recently we had the Zapatron in the game, and the double pump has made its own return. Live events are supposed to make a comeback during all of the OG stuff. They even decided to monetize the mode, which means that they aren't just going to leave it in the dust. They still don't have the original movement or anything. The HUD is not what it used to be. I've talked a lot about the things that are not the same, and honestly, little hot take I suppose, I think with the addition of Reload and Chapter 6, Fortnite should feel more comfortable to make OG as close to the original as possible, because if you don't like the old movement, you can just play the other modes instead. I talked about seasonal events, which yes, they made them way better than before. Regardless of there being a lot of advertisements and celebrities and whatever they have with it, we still got a very good Halloween and Christmas for 2024. Granted, I think the most recent Winterfest wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was most definitely an improvement from the main menu that we had. That was like 2 years ago. I hope we potentially get things for Easter or even something like St. Patrick's Day, because then that just allows for Epic to add more challenges with rewards. That's just a little bit of me wanting to add on to that. The last thing I talked about was live events. Some people feel that the live event we had most recently was actually really bad, and personally, I will say personally, my expectations were very low. I thought it would be basically nothing, but what we got was a big improvement from just a massive explosion or shooting at a big NPC. The live events of Chapter 5 were very boring, and the live concert / event we got for Chapter 2 Remix was a really big step up from other concerts that we've had. Before I continue with the new points I want to bring up, please understand that this is to make the game better and to just improve from what we already have, and what we currently have is not a 1 out of 10 pile of trash. It's like a 6 out of 10, but we want that number to get higher. As a community, we want that number to get higher. I can celebrate every single positive about new updates, but in order to help the game improve even more, I'm going to point out issues I have with the subject at hand, being Fortnite, of course. So for anyone that comments things of, oh, you're just hating, oh, you're just this, oh, you're just that, you're just an idiot. I'm just gonna say it right now, you're just dumb. I'm explaining myself right here. Also, another thing, I've been streaming a lot on Twitch and here on YouTube. Go follow my Twitch if you want to. I want to try and hit 200 followers. But okay, let's get into this. This is future Bennjipie here, or more or less your current version. That's the past version. I don't really know exactly how to go about this, but there's some stuff that happened on Twitter, and I thought it was pretty funny. I saw a clip of Michael Reeves basically saying, hey, all of these modes were not really great at launch. They need to give them more time and effort and all this sort of stuff. And everyone's like, oh my God, yay, good job, yay, yeah, that's exactly what we agree with. And then I'm sitting here like, guys, I said this like 5 times. Random content creators, random people on Twitter or anywhere on social media would make fun of me saying, oh, Epic is adding too much, Epic is lazy, all that sort of shit. Suck my nuts. Just suck my nuts. Just lick them. And I do believe that it's partially based on the way that I said it, more or less my language, not saying that it was like swearing or anything, but maybe I could have articulated it better for other people to understand, and Michael Reeves just did it better. But it's very funny to see someone say almost the exact same thing, and yet everyone is like, I agree, yeah, but I'm sitting over here, I mean, I've already made that joke, whatever. Anyways, go back to the video. There are no words to describe how often I've experienced desync. I can kill the person, or they just happen to run away, or they kill me. It doesn't really matter. I can very much consistently see when I have shot someone and the bullet just does not count. On top of this, there are times where I go around a corner and I'm shot clear as day. In a lot of other competitive shooters, this almost never happens, and if it does, it's on a rare occasion. I understand that building on top of the combat makes the server load worse, but this is something that happens in zero builds. I don't know what they need to do to fix this. Get better servers, acknowledge how bad the servers are at times. I feel like I never see anything from Epic or Fortnite that points out that there are problems with the servers. I don't have a solution because this is fully up to Epic to fix, and they are lazy because the servers have gotten worse over the years. Hit detection and stuff has massively went down, massively. And you know, honestly, I've experienced a handful of hackers in Chapter 6. At first you don't realize it, but then you look a little closer and you're like, oh, this guy can't miss a shot, or this guy just knows exactly where every player is, even though they never made a sound, or, you know, didn't even make a sound by swapping guns. Epic is really good at getting rid of basic cheaters. They even dealt with a cheater in the FNCS, I believe is what it was, and they made him apologize on his YouTube channel. I love this energy. Call of Duty could never ban a single cheater ever. They just shadow ban them so that they're put into specific lobbies with cheaters, and that's just so that they spend more money on the game. But I have reported a handful of legit cheaters. I'm not someone who thinks that just because, you know, I got beaten in a 1v1 or something or died, that means that the person is cheating no matter what. No, that's not what I mean. Sometimes these people have soft aim, you know, wall hacks, whatever. They have the work sometimes, and I have seen it on stream. And for some reason, not a single player I have reported has come back with a pop-up saying that I actually got that person banned. Did they remove the pop-up, or is it AI that is failing to see when someone is cheating? Because even blatant cheaters haven't gotten banned. And you know, there might be someone reacting to this on their, you know, their stream or whatever, and they pause the video and they go, that doesn't mean Epic is actually lazy because they didn't let me finish what I was talking about. Let me put it into perspective. A cheater that hits constant headshots, wall hacking, or someone with a trigger bot while getting mass reported because there's no way that they haven't killed like 1,000 people and at least 10% of those people decided, hey, let me just spectate him for a little bit, and then they went to report him. There is no way that a real person at Epic wasn't required to check to see if they are actually cheating. If they did a check with a real person, then they either suck at their job or shouldn't be working in that field, because a lot of people can especially tell when it's full rage hacking. And not too long ago, we recently got news that Epic unbanned every single cheater from, I think, like years ago or something like that. They're all unbanned and able to play again. If they do use cheats again, they get banned for a year, and then if they do it another time after the year, I think they get banned permanently. Obviously, most of those accounts are not being used. Most cheaters would just make another email and all that stuff because the game is free to play, but it just shows to players that they have another chance to see if they can get detected. It makes sense to be very stern and strict with your rules, because if there's no gray area, people can't really, you know, meddle with it. Personally, I think account merging and all that should still be a thing, and obviously that doesn't have to do with cheating, but people were banned for trying to account merge. They should also be unbanned. Or is it because you're wanting people to spend more money on the game, Epic? I mean, that's really the big question. So does this make Epic lazy? To a degree, yes, because why would the pop-up be removed if you actually got a cheater banned? It used to be a thing and it's gone. It should be added back, and we should not praise them for adding it back. It should just be back in the game. And if the pop-up is actually in the game and the people I've reported haven't gotten banned, there are some major issues with how they detect cheats. And I know that they've worked on it and improved it and all that stuff, but for some of these things, it's pretty insane that they don't have it manually set to like, hey, 1,000 reports, 100 reports, this person will finally get looked at by a real person. That has to happen. And you know, I've noticed a large increase of content added to the game that is just old stuff getting reused and treated as something new. I think this only makes sense to do when you have things like the Spider-Man gloves, where it requires you to have a deal between Epic and another company to add the item to the game. So instead of Spider-Man gloves, we have the grapple glove, which is actually worse than the Spider-Man gloves, but it's within Fortnite instead of being about Spider-Man, since that deal is over. But as an example, Godzilla's medallion from Chapter 6 Season 1, really not that long ago, this is a 1-to-1 copy of the medallion from Chapter 5 Season 2. It was less than a year and they already reused the item. And there's not really, it's not a collab going to Fortnite related stuff, it's a Fortnite related thing becoming a part of a collab. A lot of the stuff from Chapter 2 Remixed was reused items, and in my notes here I don't, you know, really elaborate on that. You know, making a lot of the weapons the way that they were, like the stuff with Ice Spice, wasn't really original. The drum gun for Snoop was not, there wasn't really much to it. I think Eminem's version of the minigun was probably the best version that we had, because it had the pickup sound and it played music when you shot. I think every weapon probably should have been able to do that. That would have been really cool, but they just didn't really go any further with that. So it's literally just a copy and paste item, even though it wasn't like the OG season where they're trying to do a 1-to-1 copy or anything. The most recent Winterfest reused items that, you know, they have the same old old ice grenade, but instead it just creates blizzards and, you know, the icy feet. We've had this for, you know, since like chapter 1, but now you can just turn it off and turn it on whenever you want. And I think he can walk on water, but that doesn't really add much, you know. But there are items like the kneecapper, which may look very similar to the Typhoon Blade, but the animations and how the weapon is used is treated completely different. And of course, I have to mention Save the World for this part. I think taking any items from Save the World and using them in the Battle Royale is a good idea. We have a lot of cool stuff from Save the World, and maybe if they did it more, we would be able to see Save the World be given a little bit of support, but who knows. But for what I'm talking about, there's a difference from reusing something for the exact same experience and reusing something to help make something different. Some of you guys may understand this, but it's sort of like World at War Zombies. It was a thrown together passion project while the devs worked on the campaign and the multiplayer. There was no chance it was actually going to make it to the main build, but the zombies mode was a bonus to beating the campaign, and it didn't feature much, but it was different and fun. I just hope Epic doesn't give us more stuff where they completely reuse old items and treat them as new, kind of like how, you know, for this most recent season, Chapter 6, Season 2, the Mammoth Pistol is treated as a new item, and it has a mythic, so it's not going anywhere. And they're also going to be adding the rocket ram again, but it's going to have a drill instead. Then again, we are getting a lot of new stuff that's leaked right now, so I don't know, I'm not going to show it, but they're doing a little bit more. I am going to do another video on Save the World, but I need to bring up a lot of these things in case some of you guys don't watch that video. This game mode is objectively boring, but it's because Epic let it stay that way. We got a new mission type not too long ago called Hunt the Titan, and it was really fun for a good bit. That mission and others get pretty repetitive, and the way to fix that is by adding more and more missions with the ability to earn more V-Bucks. With Marvel Rivals coming out and choosing to give players a currency that allows them to buy skins within the game, letting players do challenges to earn the same exact currency while also allowing you to return to old battle passes in case you didn't finish them. On top of all of this, the game is free to play. I think it's pretty obvious that Epic hates not only Fortnite, but Save the World mostly. Helldivers 2 costs $40 and allows you to find their currency within the game and throughout missions. You can choose to spend money on the game for new battle passes in case you don't want to wander around for their type of, you know, credits, but it's still an option. Epic said this game mode would become free. Obviously, being a founder is something special, but everyone that purchases Save the World or who has purchased any bundles for the game should be able to get V-Bucks the way that founders do. If you make a good product and you treat your players right, the players will happily spend money, especially your dedicated players. Everyone will spend money eventually. Like if they were making these improvements, I would happily spend money for the crew. It also bugs me that other content creators barely talk about it. Regardless of if they like it or have tried it, there would be no Battle Royale without Save the World. And I think, honestly, Cypher is the only person to legitimately give it the time and effort. He may not be interested in it, and he may not have, you know, enjoyed it long term, but he definitely gave it a run for his money. You know, I've seen comments saying, wow, the game mode that doesn't make Epic as much money is given less attention. What a surprise. And that baffles me. Imagine spending money on a game and that game gets abandoned. The only time that is acceptable to a degree is when the devs are working on a better version of the exact same game and it's only an upgrade. Epic is lazy when it comes to Save the World because they have not really done any bug fixes, given it any attention, and it's treated as the neighborhood cat where you just, you know, so happen to feed it every night, but it's because you actually brought it to the neighborhood in the first place. I don't really have a good analogy for it, but this mode should be given care. Just hire a team of people to do something with the mode. Literally anything is better than nothing. Obviously, you know, if you guys make it worse, then that's a problem, but do some Reddit AMA or ask around on Twitter for, you know, public something. Just ask. Who cares if people use it to get V-Bucks? If your game is fun and caters to people who are new or dedicated, you will see more money. It's a lot of logic, but who am I kidding? It's just, you know, suits behind Epic. I'm really sad with what happened to the patch notes. Overall, this wouldn't fix the game, but it would show that Epic cares to some degree. And I don't know when it exactly had happened, but Epic had stopped doing patch notes sometime after Chapter 1, potentially, and they started working with content creators to talk about what was new within an update. I'm not for certain about that, but, you know, I do recall Cypher making a lot of videos similar to what I'm describing, so that's sort of what I'm basing this off of, but regardless, patch notes are much different than what they used to be. I don't know why it's a thing now for them to just show what certain things look like and have that be it. Having patch notes say how much damage something does, structure damage, maybe, you know, the Oni mask having the ability to describe how much distance it has or whatever, you know, things like that are helpful. It would allow for me to get all my information in one spot instead of having to go check out someone's TikTok or YouTube to figure out what happened in a big update. There's a couple posts I found floating around where people guess that it's because people would assume something is either terrible or bad before using the item and they would hate on it. But this is what I don't get. People already do this when it comes to anything getting leaked. Leakers have creator codes and everything. Epic is fully aware of them and chooses to let them leak stuff because it gets people hyped for what's to come up next. Activision, when it comes to any sort of leak, will instantly strike it down whether it's true or false. So we know Epic of all people have the power to do the same. People judge whatever is releasing before it even has a chance to come to the game. Patch notes should be how they used to be. It's not hard. Someone would be getting paid for it, so there's really no issue with that, right? You know, someone gets a job. This is a little bit of a hot take. At the same time, I'll get into the laziness part, but the ranked loot pool should match the tournament loot pool. Also, I believe tournaments currently have Siphon, but ranked doesn't, which is a little bit weird. It makes literally no sense to cater to the people that do not play ranked consistently or legitimately at all. A lot of people will give ranked a try, but then they won't stay on it forever because of queue times, or, you know, obviously it gets sweaty like how it should be, and they'll just stop playing it. It's clear that they want more people to get into ranked because there's bots from bronze to around plat or so, and in comparison to a lot of games, Fortnite ranked and all of the tournaments you could potentially be in are very close together. What I'm getting at here is most games require you to just know people, be famous, or have been playing the game for an ungodly amount of time. If I play ranked seriously in something like Overwatch, there is no chance I will ever enter a tournament for the game. But in Fortnite, you can play a shit ton of ranked, climb really high, get really good, and be able to play in certain tournaments that is hosted by Fortnite themselves. So wouldn't it be best to make the loot pools similar from ranked to tournaments? Because of the lack of loot pools, Season 3, the car season, had a lot of pros talking about the issues that the cars and Nitro brought to the game. The best and smartest way to fix this is within the week, if not the next week, remove the items from ranked and tournaments. Then casuals are happy and sweats are happy. Obviously, this doesn't just apply to loot pools, but Epic tends to do this little thing where they add something that people enjoy, like separate loot pools. Not even a season later, they remove it and don't address it. The community doesn't point it out, so Epic never has anything to say. Then when people are like, why are there no separate loot pools? Epic adds it whenever, you know, the game is, you know, not doing well, and then the community praises Epic for listening, but it's the most toxic shit I've ever seen. Overwatch spent 2 years to finally add loot boxes back after people complained about them getting removed in the first place. But here's the thing, Blizzard chose to remove the item, then they added it back, and they're like, see, we listened to our community. You guys are being gaslit into believing that this titan of a company, Epic and Blizzard, actually cares about you. They have data that shows when shit is hitting the fan, and when they see the numbers dip too low, they finally decide to do what people have begged for. But when the number is high, they'll just manage what they have instead of pressing on the gas. This makes Epic lazy because they only decide to do important actions like adding features that have no reason to be removed when the community finally starts talking about it again. Separate loot pools should always be a thing. It's currently a thing for tournaments right now where a lot of items are removed. I think ranked could be much better to play, and it would have a little bit more diversity if they were, you know, close together. But yeah, I'm back. Sorry I didn't, you know, post earlier this week or anything. I was a little sick and kind of lost my voice. You can kind of tell my voice is a little bit raspy. And I'm not really vibing with this new season of Fortnite right now. I don't dig it as much, but I don't necessarily hate it. It's just pretty mid. I've been playing a massive chunk of Save the World, so that's nice. I have 2 more videos planned related to Fortnite, but I'll be honest, guys, I'm gonna branch out a little bit more. Obviously, I do stuff with Rivals, but I just want to put more stuff on here that is quality. My second channel is probably going to be a ghost town for a little bit, while in the meantime though, I'll be posting a lot of stuff here like once a week at least. I really do appreciate everyone's support on my videos, and you guys hitting that like goal on my last video was awesome. I never expected anything like that. That's why I tried shooting high, and you guys far exceeded that. Thank you to everyone that decided to become a member and join the cream team. You pay for my, you know, 2 a.m. drive-through orders. It's really nice. So if you want me to have an even bigger order, become a member. I want more McChickens and stuff, man. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, night, week, month, whole rest of the year. It really doesn't matter when it is, but I hope that it's great for you. See ya.